Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is Friday night here, August the 22nd already. My goodness, we are burning through August. This is the First Alert Weather Show at 9. I'm glad you're here tonight on a Friday night. If you're not out enjoying a football game or just a pleasant evening, that's great. We can certainly have our time together here and talk about even cooler temps on the way for the weekend. Now we have, of course, I'm monitoring on 14 News Facebook page. If you have a question or comment from the Peanut Gallery, you can throw it in there and I will respond to those here during the program. As we move along, we've had a nice day today. We got up to 82. The sun did make an appearance for about 3 or 4 hours, but we clouded up kind of late, although we're clearing again. And that will lead to some late fog perhaps by early tomorrow morning. It will be warmer tomorrow. We'll get back up to about 86. And then on Sunday, we get another shot of fall air from Canada. Temperatures will pull back into the 70s, and our lows will drift all the way down into the mid-50s. So you might even be able to crack the windows open and shut the AC off for some good sleeping weather there toward Monday and Tuesday. That fog threat is probably overstated here on the model, but we may see a little of it first thing in the morning, and then it will rapidly burn off as the sun gets higher in the sky. Check out these dew points now, well into the middle 60s, going down, and that means the air is drying out and it has greater capacity then to cool. Lower dew points, you can have a bigger swing in the temperature. You know, in the desert, like out west, the dew point sometimes is so low that you could have a high during the day of, say, 105 and a low at night of like 55. So we're not going to see that kind of differential, but it's just worth noting that drier air can heat and cool more rapidly, and you have a bigger spread then in the temperatures. And you kind of see that as we move into next week there with those near 80-degree highs and lower 50 lows. That's practically a 30-degree spread, which is pretty wide. Especially compared with what we've had, where lows were at 75 and highs were like at 95 or greater last week. As we get into the week, we're not expecting any rainfall. I've been watching the GFS and European models. Really no signal for significant rainfall in the coming week, nor over the weekend. Our current temps have really settled down. We're at 69 way up there in Duluth, which is not far from where we are here at Evansville now, 70. And around the tri-state. Even out west, not quite as big of heat, although 102 at Vegas and 109 at Phoenix. Remember what I said about the desert, though, big swings in the temperature there because the air is dry. Typically, we don't hit 100 unless that humidity is down a little bit. We haven't hit 100 this year, as a matter of fact. 98 has been the highest temp. Around the area and around the tri-state, we're enjoying a pleasant evening, as you know, if you've stuck your head out there. We were at 82 today for the high, and we got down to 64 this morning for the low, so that was a good contrast and a nice cool start. We've knocked out the 90-degree run there, 14 days of it, and we should have some really fine conditions there for next week. Sadly, we're not going to see any rain, and that's could be a problem here coming up in the next week or two. As I've mentioned here a couple times, typically we hit that last 90 degree for the season sometime in mid-September. That's when it usually happens, and that's when it happened last year on the 21st. But the year prior to that, we were done with 90s on the 5th of September, and in 2021, we had our last 90 in August. So sometimes we can just kind of scratch that off the list and move on to the good weather. For the month now, as I mentioned, we're below normal on rainfall, and that kind of breaks our run of wetter than normal months, which began in April with the flooding and record rainfalls, and then May, June, July, all respectably above normal. So that has given us a little pad, but as you know, especially if you're a gardener or you're working in your yard, we have a lot of clay soil here in the tri-state. Unless you live close to the river, then you got a little more sand. But the point is that clay just turns into a brick once it hasn't rained for a couple of weeks. It doesn't hold the water, even though we've had so much this year. Mid-80s going into tomorrow afternoon, And with that, we will have a clear sky. There will be occasional bouts of cloudiness, and there's a cold front actually back to our northwest that'll move in here. It's not going to bring us any rain, but it will usher in that next surge of cooler air that'll arrive on Sunday. In the tropics, things are still starting to simmer. Wouldn't surprise me to see Ferdinand develop out here to the south of Bermuda over the weekend. Probably either a tropical storm or tropical depression first, and then it may intensify. And it may not. You know, these hurricanes have a mind of their own. And then we're also watching out here to the east of the Leeward and Wayward Islands, or Windward Islands rather, in the Caribbean. We could see development down there as well. Satellite imagery was showing a couple of areas of storms down there. No thunderstorm risk for the tri-state in the coming days here through the weekend, and really not much of a risk anywhere in the country, certainly not for widespread organized severe weather. And you know, August, July, September, typically very quiet months severe weather-wise. We get into what we call the cool severe season, it really more in earnest in late October. We did have a tornado outbreak, let me think here, that was in 2008 or 9, might have been 09. October 18th was the date. That was an Owensboro tornado, real strong one. Knocked down the 3rd Baptist Church and several other buildings in Owensboro back then. So my point is, the severe season kind of starts to sneak in there toward the end of October and then into November and December. There's that cold front I mentioned. It will just kind of glide through here through the weekend, and that will reinforce our cooler air and make it really comfortable for next week. Both the GFS and the European not signaling any rainfall for next week, at least not during the work week. Longer range, the GFS was trying to generate some rain Saturday, Sunday. So we'll see. You know, we're still, 7 days out almost, so we'll just have to kind of monitor that. 64 tonight, 86 tomorrow. We have a dry, quiet forecast here going ahead, and really no problems down the line. Our temperature outlook is cooler than normal, in fact, much below average through the weekend and into the end of the month, and our rainfall still looking very dry as well. Interestingly, we may start to see some more active weather here in the plains, which would indicate maybe some thunderstorms and that, developing some heavy rainfall out over Oklahoma, northern Texas, and southern Kansas. Now, this is a good idea. I should have mentioned this before for the pet pick. Don't be afraid to put your face in there. I like to know who's, with these various animals that we show on here. This is Jake, and Jake's parent there, Carol Mills. So good-looking pair there. We'll leave them up. And of course, I always enjoy your pet pics. You can submit those on 14news.com where it says submit photos. It's right on our homepage there. So check it out, knock yourself out. All right, let's go over here to your questions and comments. Laura Gray is with us tonight from Dawson Springs. Hadn't seen your name on there a couple days, so good to have you back, Laura. Dan Lees is on tonight. Let's see, Cheyenne Hammonds. Gareth McCutcheon says, just got home from watching my high school get a 33-0 win. Well, good for you. Let me try to figure out where you, what your high, oh, you're in Boonville, the Pioneers. They are a tough team, aren't they? My alma mater, Wrights, got wiped out by the Pioneers. I think it was the first round of sectionals a couple years ago. So go Pioneers. I got to say go Panthers too. I can't be partisan. Go all teams. Everybody's a winner. But good for you. The more I talk, the more trouble I'm going to get into here. And Gareth also reports it was beautiful this evening. Well, sure, with a win like that, it would be. Let's see. Dan Lees is saying no flash drought. Hopefully, I hope so too, but I think it's kind of leaning that way. Especially if we go another week and a half without rain. That's going to really stress things out just a bit. Let's see here. I think I got all your questions tonight, so I got a little science corner for you here. With it being so dry, I think we're going to start seeing more of these dust devils, you know, little tornadoes that form out there in the dry and soon to be harvested fields, ball fields, stuff like that. And the way a dust devil forms is kind of like a tornado. It looks like a tornado, but actually it's not convective, meaning you don't have a thunderstorm over the top of it, but rather you have the sun heating the ground, which creates a localized area of low pressure. Remember, as air heats, it's less dense and it rises. And when it's rising, it creates a void there, a low pressure. So what happens is the air around it fills in the void. And as that gets going, occasionally, the air will rotate, just like it would in a tornado, counterclockwise. And obviously, with it being dry like this, there's a lot of dust down there. And so as the air rushes in, it kicks up dust, which is displaced at the ground, and it wants to rise too, and it forms a funnel. And this process is self-sustained as long as you have heat, which you would from the sun on a clear day, and you have an influx of the slightly cooler air moving in to fill the void, which then heats and rises. You're going to have a dust devil. Eventually, of course, one of the pieces of that equation will end. Usually you run out of cooler air, or the cooler air is warm to the point there's not a big enough differential, and the whole thing falls apart. Dust devils generally are benign. I have friends that have ridden their bikes through them, which is brave. I've always kind of wanted to do that, but you know, you got to be pretty quick. And then the other thing, though, is you get stuff in your eyes because you got dust flying around. But I've seen kids run into them on baseball fields and that. Occasionally, you can get a strong enough dust devil, it'll pick up things like lawn chairs and, you know, coolers, cooler lid, that sort of thing, and take it up just like debris, leaves, anything light, paper, and things like that. So they can be pretty dramatic when they move through. And if you get some good video of a dust devil, of course, I'm always all about that. So you can share that with me on Facebook or wherever, and we'll take a look and share it here if it happens. Let me see if there are any more questions. There are not. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. We have a little different lineup this weekend. Michael Fecka is on vacation, well-deserved vacation. So Art and Gregory will be with you tomorrow night here at 9 o'clock on the Weather Show. And then I'll be here on Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Arden will be here Monday morning. She's covering Byron's shift. These guys, they just take off on us. Byron's mom actually turned 85 up in Valparaiso, so he's up there with his family celebrating that this weekend. They've got a good one for it, too. I don't know what they're trying to get up to a White Sox game or anything, but they will have a good time for that. And I hope you all have a good time, too. Please stay safe, and thanks for watching the Weather Show at 9 o'clock.